Hello dear students and welcome back to my channel. This video is regarding your upcoming English exam. So many students don't know how to present the paper for inter first year English. So in this video I'll show you a student's paper, how the student has presented. We will also discuss some mistakes and errors that students make in the exam. So this is inter first year CEC paper, English. First thing you must do is start with section B or C. Better section B. Because section B and C together carry 56 marks and section A carries only 24 marks. अगर आप पहले आंसर लिखोगे then what will happen? You are going to miss out on the grammar part. बिकॉज ग्रामर सोच समझ के किया जाता है. अगर आप जल्दी में करोगे तो पूरा रॉन्ग हो जाएगा एंड जो ग्रामर आपको आता है उसके मार्क्स भी आपको नहीं मिलेंगे. So after finishing section B and C, only then move on to section A. Now let us see in section B how the student has written answers. So in section B you'll get passages. Bit number 4, passages from all 4 short stories, and bit number 5, unseen passage. That also is there in your textbook. So first you will write bit number 4 and then you will write sub-bit numbers, Roman number 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Here the student didn't know third answers. So student has written 5th and 6th. This is fine. But if you write second answer first, then the first one, that means your answers are not in serial order. So don't do like that. So student got 4 over here because the answers are written correctly either in one word or one sentence. What I have observed for passages is that when you are asked true and false question, instead of writing true or false, you are just copying 2 to 3 lines from the passage and writing in the answer. So board exam में आपको ऐसा करेंगे तो marks नहीं आएंगे students. Write properly to the point. Like for example, here the question was in the first one that where did the 3 brothers live? So live in the answer has changed to lived. The 3 brothers lived in a large house on the outskirts of a city in China. So this way proper sentences you need to write to the point. In section B, next bit is bit number 5. This is the last bit. Here also first you'll write bit number, then sub-bit numbers, Roman numbers. The student has written over here to the point again. Either the answer is in one word or one full sentence. So in the same way you are going to write all the bits. Now moving on to bit number 6, that is match the meanings. In match the meanings, you must first write bit number 6, then write 1, 2, 3 and then ABCD. Do not draw lines and match. Write this way in the exam. So the student has written all 8, 9, 10 answers. But in the exam, you can write any 8 for half mark each. So total 4 marks in this bit. Now moving on to bit number 7, that is parts of speech. So parts of speech usually comes in the form of a paragraph and one word is underlined and beside that in the bracket the number is written. So first write bit number 7, then number 1, then write the word you and then the answer, that is pronoun. So in the exam they'll be given a bracket, number 1 is written and the word underlined, that is you. So you are directly going to write the answer instead of copying the passage. So in parts of speech, total 10 questions you will get. Out of 10, any 8 you can do, half mark each. But if you don't write the correct bit number, you won't be given marks, students. So this student has written all 10 answers, so got 4 marks. Now moving on to the next bit, that is bit number 8, that is articles, a, an and the. So for articles also, you'll get passages. In passages, same like parts of speech. So write bit number and then sub-bit numbers and then the answer. So remember students, in this bit, we have to see the vowel sound and also we have to see if it is specific. Only for specific we'll use the. Otherwise, a or an. A for consonant sounds and an for vowel sounds, that is A, E, I, O, U. So again this bit carries total 4 marks. Out of 10, any 8 you need to do. Now moving on to the next bit, that is bit number 9. Bit number 9 is prepositions. So prepositions also, out of 10, any 8 you need to do to get 4 marks. Again, you'll get in the form of a paragraph. Sometimes they give sentences also. So like this, you need to write bit number 9 and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and then the answer. Don't copy question, students. It will just waste your time. So prepositions are words like on, in, under, over. You can watch my video on prepositions. The link is given in the comment section. Bit number 10. Bit number 10 is tenses. In the exam, you'll get the question correct form of verb. So in this one, you need to identify with the help of hints. Like for example, he goes to college every day. So every day is an indicator of present tense. So we'll just add an s to the verb. Similarly for other tenses also, like for example, in a few minutes is an indicator of simple future. So we'll use will plus v1 like that. I have uploaded 3 videos on important tenses for the final exam. The link is in the comment section. So in this bit also you must write bit number 10 and then Roman number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and write the answer. So in the exam you will get 6 questions. Out of 6, any 4 you need to do. Each one will carry 1 mark, total 4 marks. Now moving on to question number 11, that is rewrite as directed. In this one you will get 4 topics that are direct and indirect speech, active passive voice, degrees of comparison and question tags. So one tip for active and passive voice, first identify the SVO, that is subject verb object. Then you exchange the places of subject and object and then you change the verb into past perfect or past tense. Like you see the first one, all the arrangements will be made by him. So in this one, the student forgot to write B. Because the student didn't write B, and that's why student will get no marks for this, because one mistake also is not allowed in grammar. There is no partly correct answer in grammar. So for the next question, that is Sunil told his daughter that he would take care of her, isn't it? And wealth is not as important as health. And then wasn't he? For these answers, the student got 1 mark, total 4 marks. So even in other grammar bits, if you do and think that, oh, I'll get half mark, no, you won't. If you want to know how Interboard gives you marks, then check the playlist. There I have given one video how the board gives you marks. Now let's see the second one. Sunil told his daughter that he would take care of her. So in this one also, if you forgot to write that or you forgot to change will to would or he you forgot to change according to the subject, then also your whole answer becomes wrong. Next is question tags. In question tag, you don't forget to write the comma. You put the comma first, then the contraction form, that is isn't, and then the pronoun it, and then the question mark. All these things are required. In degrees of comparison, usually positive to comparative and comparative to positive. These are mostly repeated ones. Now let us move on to the next bit, that is bit number 12. Bit number 12 is rewrite and correct the errors in the sentences. So in the question, the sentences are given, in that one word is underlined and that is the error. So first you will put bit number 12, then Roman number 1 and then write the whole sentence in the answer sheet and also change the underlined word. So over here in this paper, the student has written all right answers, but the student forgot to write the full sentence. So for example, in the exam, you got the sentence, athletics are an interesting sport. So athletics is a singular sport. For that, we cannot write are. Are is an error, that's why it's underlined. So in the exam, you'll write the whole sentence and then remove are, and in place of are, you are going to write is in the paper. Now let us move on to bit number 13, that is missing letters. Already this is for half mark, means 10 questions you'll get, out of that any 8, so half mark each. So even if one letter is wrong in any spelling, you won't be given marks for it. Here the student has written the wrong spelling, so you must write bit number 13 and Roman numbers 1 to 10. Now let us move on to the next bit, that is bit number 14, silent consonant letters. In this, only the consonant letters are silent, not the vowels. Means you will never get A, E, I, O, U as silent. It's always T, G, R, K. So in the exam, you must write bit number 14, first Roman number. T is silent letter. This whole thing you must mention. Some students, they are just underlining the silent letter in the word and they are just leaving it. So don't do like that. Write properly. So total 10 questions you'll get. Out of that any 8, each one carries half mark. For example, in the exam you'll get the word neighbor. So neighbor, G and H both are silent. So in this word neighbor, G and H are not pronounced. But in other words, single letters are only considered. Like for example in the word fight, when you pronounce fight, we don't pronounce g and her, right? That is G and H. So you must learn how to pronounce the word correctly. If you pronounce the word correctly, then definitely you can write it. So in the exam, if you feel that this word G and H both are not pronounced while pronouncing it, then you write G and H both, you will be given marks. Okay, now moving on to the next bit, that is bit number 15, that is phonetic transcriptions. So you have to change the transcription into ordinary English spelling. So write bit number 15 and write Roman numbers and then the answer. Even if one spelling is wrong, you won't be given marks for it. Like for the first one, it is education, then husband, pension, mountain. Last one, student has written only one letter wrong, so there is an error. Correct word is close, CLOSE. So just because of one letter also you can lose marks. So just for the right answers, the student got 4 on 4. Sometimes after writing the answers, you still get doubt. So in such a case, it's always better that you write extra answers. So even if your one or two answers are wrong, for the other extras, you can still get marks. Now the next bit, that is bit number 16, that is circle the word that sound different with regards to the bold letter. For example, three words are there: cheap, chain and chaos. In all three words, CH is underlined and it is bold. So we need to check the sound of CH in cheap, it is ch. In chain also it is ch. Chaos it is k. So simply you can write the answer, or you can write all these three words cheap, chain, chaos and then circle chaos. That way also you can write. So the student over here wrote bit number 16 and Roman numbers. So students, you need to be very careful with the sound. If you pronounce the word wrong, then definitely you will get this wrong. So be careful with the sounds. Now bit number 17, that is syllables. In syllables, you need to count the number of vowel sounds in a word. If you find 3 or 2, that many syllables will be there. For example, you see this word decision. In this, I can hear 3 vowel sounds. That means there are 3 syllables in this word. So you have to mention 3 syllables, 2 syllables, 1 syllable. The other way to write is monosyllabic, disyllabic, trisyllabic, poly, like that. So this way is much easier, that is writing 2 syllables, 1 syllable, okay? A very big mistake that students do is they miss out on writing sub-bit numbers. If you miss this, then you won't be given marks, students. So no bit numbers, no marks. Now moving on to section A. But this section you must start only after finishing section B and C. So you divide like that, 1.5 hours for grammar first and then 1.5 hours for writing summaries. Don't spend more than 10 minutes on writing any summary answer. So let's see how to write in section A. First, do not write summary of father dear father. That is not the way. So the student has mentioned section A, correct. Then the student has mentioned A, that is also correct. Then about the author. In about the author, you identify the author's name and then mention he is an editor of the Hindu newspaper. Now in this one you can mention one point that he imagined this boy named Rahul who is writing a letter to his father. but he was never able to send that letter. So such points about the author you can mention. The next heading is explanation. In explanation, you explain the whole story, but how to begin the explanation? You can begin by writing, this story is about, and then tell the whole story. See how the student has mentioned the first point, what Rahul wrote in his letter, the second point, the third point, the fourth point, and then why Rahul wrote this letter, the main reason. Then last heading is message. The message of the lesson is. This way you have to begin writing the message. Whatever you have learned changing the Indian education system. We can talk about flaws in the minds of parents, teachers. Okay. So again the student has written bit number 1 C, because C answer the student is writing. So this is very important. Students miss out on writing sub-bit numbers for the answers. So over here the student has not written side headings but still got marks. So in this lesson, the Green Champion Thimakka, there is no author. It is an article taken from the internet. But it is about Thimakka. So instead of writing about the author, you will write information about the person on whom this article is written, that is Thimakka. So Thimakka's actual name is Salu Marada Thimakka. Then she lived in Gubi village, married to Chikaya, and he was a laborer. They planted trees on Kudur village road. Her pension was only 500 rupees. There is an organization in the US named after her. So all the details of the story, including the title, that is Salu Marada, she was given a title meaning row of trees. All these things you will mention in the answer. So for such stories which do not have an author, you can write this way, students. For short-sighted brothers, you can write it is a folklore. Okay. Now the message of the story is, or the message of the lesson is, anyone you must write. Now next, bit number 2, A answer. About the poet. The poet's name is Edgar Albert Guest, and then he has worked for 30 years for Detroit Free Press. He is also known as the people's poet. Then explanation. The whole poem you explain in your own words you can write. It's just about hard work, believing in yourself, never doubting yourself, because you never know how close you are to success. Life is not easy, it is full of ups and downs. All these things you will mention in the explanation. Then you will write the message of the poem. The message of the poem is, whatever you have learned, you can write, like about self confidence, believing yourself, and so on. Now, bit number two, C, about the poet. Again, this is a poem by Carl August Sandburg. This is very important. From second bit, you're doing C answer, you have to mention. Then in about the poet, you write about Carl August Sandburg. He's the poet and he has won 3 Pulitzer Prizes. He has also written the biography of Abraham Lincoln, and you also write about Chicago poems. Then in explanation, you explain the whole poem. This poem is about. So the poet wants to know the true meaning of happiness. He visits the professors and executives. They don't give him an answer. One day he sees Hungarians under a tree with their wife and children, and they all look very happy. They are enjoying their life with a keg of beer and an accordion, and the poet understands the true meaning of happiness. Next is the message. The message of the poem is that keeping our family close to us, living in the present moment is true happiness. So, this way you need to write the answer. Now, moving on to bit number 3, that is short stories. In this, again, bit number 3 and B answer the student is writing. It is important to write this. Then, about the author. Then mention all details about the author. Then explanation, tell the whole story. The story is about a schoolboy named Alan, how he helped the old man, how he got selected, everything, and how he could not reach on time, and who was playing at his place, Harold Banks. So all the details you mention like this, and after that you write the message. Then moving on to the next bit, bit number 3, answer C, about the author. The author's name is Mark Twain. This is the story about the 5 boons of life. You can write the explanation and then the message. The message of the lesson is: students, if you think I was able to help you, then don't forget to hype this video and don't forget to contact me on my Telegram ID if you want easy notes. Do check out the playlist that I gave in the comment section and hit the bell icon to get notified for my next upcoming video.